we believe payment has a really important role to play within loyalty. I think, to your point earlier, will customers carry 12 cards in their wallet? Will they even carry a wallet? Probably not. So I think, how does payment become that identifier that links you, to those loyalty programs, to those interests that you've got? And that's a proposition we have in market today. We work with a number of partners where we can effectively turn your payment card in a tokenized fashion into your loyalty identifier. So it makes it easier to earn and benefit.
And is this a closed loop type network or more open loop in adding more partners, or how will that evolve over time?
I mean, from a merchant perspective, it's very much open loop, so we can bring offers, promotions from various different partners into those programs. But in that specific example, the benefit is back within Uber. But over time, could that become a currency that could be used elsewhere? Absolutely. So, we're talking to partners across Europe and beyond, in terms of how can payment turbo boost, if you like, the loyalty programs they have today. From a retailer standpoint, payment helps them to perhaps target the right customers, identify customers that perhaps aren't shopping with them today. So, we're very confident and optimistic around the growth of those propositions.
And that's a perfect example of something that's very low friction in terms of the customer experience, but also very low friction in terms of the value that flows through to the customer. So there's not a middleman taking a big cut. The value is going to the customer, which drives further engagement.
I think it's also a great example of not being too precious about your app. So you've partnered with Uber because Uber's app has traction and has utility. And I think some of the great examples of payment today are saying, loyalty in restaurants started with swipe cards, then they went to their own apps, then with sort of like stamp feet where you could, it was basically an electronic version of one of these. Then they introduced payment. But actually now I think it's saying, who has space for all these apps on their phones? So now they're moving towards payment within someone else's app. So a great example of this is Byron Burger, who have just launched their app where you go onto Facebook Messenger and I can add loyalty onto that. And it's a great example of saying, let's be where the customers are and put payment and loyalty where the customers are and not worry too much about my app or that's where I think the future's going to be.